See how we get on. Hello.
Hello, Lydia. How are you? You all right?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm all good. Thanks very much. Yeah, I'm excited to get started now. I started training today. Ready to give it a good go and see where I can end up.
So big news. Like it's kind of, obviously SJam Boxing over the last year, I think in particular, have been doing such big things. They've been working with such big names, and everyone has really taken notice of their stable and all of the guys that they're signing up. So before we talk about maybe your background and, because obviously we've a massive UK following, but predominantly it's Irish. So I want to kind of get all the guys introduced to you and where you've come from and what you're hoping to achieve. But let's talk about the signing straight off the bat. How did this all come about?
Well, it all came about, about a year ago, 2 years ago, I saw Joe needed some sparring, Joe Joyce. And I just messaged Sam Jones out of the blue and said, I can be available for some sparring. I was at university at the time. And he said, yeah, come down. And I sparred, I done well then. And I came back another time and I came back another time. Kept doing well, really learning, really having some good spars with Joe. And then they asked me out to Las Vegas, February time for the Dubois fight. And from there, I performed well again, learned some more, got some more experience, and it just sort of gelled from there. I met Sam, I met Adam. I'm good mates with Joe and some of the other fighters, Lerone Richards. And it just was the right move for me because they're all great. They're really genuine guys. And I think it's the right move for me moving forward.
Like, obviously in boxing is such a hard sport, but one thing that I think fans love hearing about is the kind of sparring, and being able to go to the States with Joe Joyce, relatively unknown, and guys who are really people who are really into boxing and really into who the next big names are going to be. They always keep an eye on the camps because it's the guys who are being brought in to spar. They want to who's that? Are they next? What's going on? So when you hear or when you get the notice that you're going to be going to the States and you're going to be, training alongside someone of a caliber like Joe Joyce, what's the feeling like?
It was brilliant. I was at university at the time. I was sitting in the library and Sam said, do you want to come to Vegas, mate? And I was like, what for? What's he talking about? And he said, for the whole camp. And I thought, oh my God, brilliant. So I really went for the opportunity and I started training really hard. And it's really good going on them sparring camps because I didn't just spar Joe, I sparred a couple of good Americans out there as well. I sparred a US #2 amateur American and learning different styles as well. And that ring experience in the sparring, that's gonna give me so many benefits moving forward, having that experience training with Joe and all these top heavyweights. So it was really good to go to Las Vegas as well, one of the best places in the world. It was amazing for me. I spent my 21st birthday out there as well.
No way.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I didn't party too much or anything. I just stayed up. I got to see all the sights and it was a really good experience. Once in a lifetime thing, really.
Well, I was going to ask, was it your first time being in Las Vegas?
Yeah, first time to America.
Oh, no way. Amazing.
It was brilliant. Everything's 10 times bigger than it is over here. And everyone was really friendly. And I trained in the UFC Performance Institute gym as well. And that was
no way. Oh, that's huge.
I saw Khabib and Gennady Golovkin was there, and Francis Ngannou. They was all there, and it was just amazing to train with athletes like that. And that's what I want to get to. I want to get to that level of elite athlete, and I think I'm on the path now with the setup I've got. I can get there.
Absolutely. So what is the UFC Performance Institute like? Because that's another thing that fans are really interested in, because obviously the whole thing is that it's a state of the art. It's everything that you could need, and it's kind of like the pinnacle of, we'll say, the Performance Institute for elite athletes.
Honestly, it is the best gym I've ever seen or ever set foot in or ever seen anywhere on Instagram or what you see online. It's got everything you need under one roof. But the amazing thing is, in the UFC, they're going to do red corners and blue corners. So the problem is there's fighters from both who are going to be fighting each other now training in the same gym. So what they're going to do, they're going to build exactly the same complex and build it right next to it. So it'll be the red corner gym and the blue corner gym. And you've got all the facilities you need in there. You've got all your cold and hot recovery. You've got all your cryo chambers, food, as much food as you want. And that was a massive plus for me. I just kept eating there all the time. I really enjoyed it. And all the state-of-the-art facilities, as you said. So can't get much better than that.
If you could take one, if obviously the budget that you would need to build something like that over here, or, for all boxing gyms, the money is insane. It's not realistic, I don't think, at the moment. But if you could take away one key thing that you would like to see introduced to maybe your own gym or other gyms over here, what would it be?
I think it's the aspect of bringing everything's under one roof. So
Yeah.
it's your strength and conditioning training, it's your recovery, it's your massage parlours and all that sort of thing. It's your canteen, your food, your nutrition. It's all there in one. So you've got a facility there. If you can build a facility like that on a huge scale, that's the dream. But it's trying to get everything under one roof over in the UK. That would be brilliant.
Well, that seems to be a big problem. Well, not a problem, but it's kind of like I suppose, the negative aspects of professional fighters. Like, you have to go one place for your food, you have to go for recovery to another place. So your whole day is just spent, or your whole week is going to this place to that place. When really you just want to be able to train, recover, and wait for the next session.
But the good thing for me is, with the setup I'm going to announce my trainer tomorrow. But everything for me is quite local. So it's going to be I've got that sort of routine I can get into, and it's going to be quite convenient for me to train on a regular basis. So I'm looking forward to that.
Are we able to get a hint of who it might be?
No, it's I can't tell you yet. We're going to announce it tomorrow, but it's someone local, and it's someone from the same stock as me. So it'll be
Good stuff.
He's a world-class trainer, so I'm really happy that I've got him.
We'll have them all guessing for 24 hours, and then we can let them know, right? So what were you? Huh?
I'm enjoying it. I'm just enjoying soaking up all the experience I'm getting at the moment, because it's going to make me a better fighter in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. So why was it now? Because, I mean, you're 21 years old, so relatively still young. And the heavyweight division, obviously you're 6'5", massive. But I think with a lot of boxing fans, when they think of heavyweight, they think maybe of an older person. But now we're obviously starting to see a much younger heavyweight, a much more, I suppose, exciting heavyweight for the scene. You know, obviously yourself, there was Fabio Wardley 2 weeks ago on Matchroom. So there's all these different guys that are starting to come up. Why was it now for you?
Well, as you said, a lot of heavyweights, they don't mature until they're 28, 29, 30. That's when they hit their peak. But for me, what it was, I just finished university, and it seemed like the right time at that time, because amateur boxing, the championships are not going to be on. They've been postponed until further notice. But I think the experience I've got so far as well, sparring these professionals and going up and down and training that professional style, I think that's what's going to benefit me, and that's what's going to be my way forward. And I think I've got the tools, and going with Sam, and Sam tells me how it is. He will be honest with me when I'm wrong and when I'm going well. And he says, "Look, Johnny, you've got the tools, what you need to get to the top. You've got a solid jab, you've got a good chin, you've got a good engine on you, and you're here to fight." And I think they're all the good ingredients for a good heavyweight. If we can get you and build you up and get your experience up as a young professional and learn professional style, then that's what's going to be beneficial for you, because that gives you, in the long run, better credentials when you get to that sort of elite level. So I'm going to get there, and I'm going to do it.
So obviously it's plain to see why someone like Sam Jones, Adam Morley, why they would want to be involved, why they would want to sign you up. But from your end, what was it about that team that you decided to go with? Like, did you have a conversation to say, this is what I'm looking for in a manager?
Yeah, well, what it was, when we was in Las Vegas, I met Adam Morley for the first time as well. Because when I first fought with Sam Jones and SJam Boxing, I thought it was just Sam. And Sam I really liked anyway, and I thought he was a good character, and he's the sort of person you want on your side, because he's always going to be talking to you, he's always going to be pushing you forward. But then I met Adam as well, and Adam's a different character, and they work quite well together. Adam's a really nice man, really genuine man, and he's the calming influence on it as well at the same time, and he's the man who's got that basis there. So when I met them both, and we had discussions out there talking about, well, when you're ready to sign pro, come to us, and I always remembered that, and the opportunity Sam gave me, really, to give me, a university student, just doing a history degree. I was playing rugby 2-3 years ago as well. So for me to get that opportunity to go out there, they obviously saw me and liked me. And I like when people do it, when people show faith in you,
yes,
to show a bit back. And for me, Sam, the setup he's got, that boutique sort of stable with 9 or 10 fighters, that's something I want to be a part of. I look at Florian Marku, Lorraine Richards, John Hedges, Joe Joyce, all these top fighters. I want to be part of them, and I still really can't believe that I'm part of them, and I want to live up to that expectation, and I'm gonna smash it.
absolutely. So obviously you mentioned there about rugby. Would you have been someone growing up that was kind of just into all sports? Like, how were you? Was it rugby? Was it boxing? Was it different things? How did you get onto this sort of boxing, I suppose?
Well, I've always boxed since I was about 6 or 7. My dad used to box, and where I live, East London, Essex, everyone, a lot of people box around here. But I've always been a person at school. I played every single sport you could. I played rugby, I played cricket. I was school football captain. We won Essex Cups, we won county cups and things like that, and cricket, everything. But my dad as well is a strong believer in you play as many sports as you can and become a rounded athlete. But boxing's always been one that I've wanted to do from a young age, and it's always been there.
So tell me about your dad then. What was his sort of background in boxing?
My dad done a bit of boxing as well. He boxed for the Repton, he boxed for the West Ham, he boxed for the Lion. He's a good footballer as well, played for Essex, played for Leyton Orient. And he's always, we've come from a sporty family, really. My brother plays semi-professional football. My other brother's a footballer. He's taller than me and he's only 17. And
what?
Yeah, so we've all come from a sport background. We're sport mad in our house. But from that, in that environment, my dad's pushed me to do it as well. So having that influence on me, and he's very level-headed as well. He'll tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right, and he'll never like blow my own trumpet. He'll tell me how it is. It's good to have a dad who encourages you, and he does encourage me. But it's better to have a dad who tells you exactly what you need to do, where you're going right and where you're going wrong, and that keeps you level-headed at the same time.
Absolutely, especially I guess as well because he has a background in boxing, so you know that what he's telling you, maybe the criticism that he's coming to you with, is genuine, and he knows what he's talking about.
That's exactly right, and that's the thing. My family, I've got a really good supportive family behind me. I've got a lot of fans and a lot of friends, family friends who support me as well. And having that behind you, you keep level-headed, but you also keep that focus as well because you've got that good setup around you.
Can you remember who was the person, or was there anyone that came to you, when you were boxing and said you've a really good potential here to do something great in boxing, or was it something that came from yourself?
I've always done it myself, but there's been people along the way. There's one man who really helped me when I was at university, because when I first started university, it was just rugby. I went to Exeter University, and it's a massive rugby focus there. But then second year, I met a good man called Zane, and he goes to university with me, Zane Al-Abidin, and we just started messing around doing a bit of boxing training again, because I had a broken hand when I started playing rugby at university, so I was taping it up and just carrying on. But then it healed, and I started boxing again with Zane, and he got me into it, and we started doing training, and we thought, yeah, we're getting back into it. And I had my fight for university, round one knockout. I had another one, a round one knockout, and then came back to Essex, and a man called Jamie Williams saw me, and he's a local trainer at Legends Gym, and he took me on, and I learned a bit more off him. And there's all different people who've influenced me. Ricky McFarlane as well, my strength and conditioning coach. When he was my strength and conditioning coach, he helped me a lot, and he's a really good friend of mine. And there's just been different people along the way who give me little bits, and I learn little bits off different people. But now it's time. I'm professional, and I've got to have that one routine, and that's what I'm gonna stick with.
You seem, for someone who's 21, you seem very mature, even in how you speak and how you kind of think about things. Do you accredit that to being involved in sport from such a young age?
Well, yeah. When you've been involved in sport a long time, the most important thing is being a good sportsman and being able to conduct yourself. It's not just about being good at the sport. It's also about the personality and the way you conduct yourself around it. But it's from my school background as well. When I went to Marshall's Park School and Cooper's Coburn School. I really took a good focus on my academics as well. So I was head boy at Marshall's Park, and I was school captain at Cooper's Coburn. So I always take a keen interest in being a well-rounded individual, not just being a sports person or an academic. I think it's important that I do everything at the same time and try and get as much experience in different fields. So I think that's really helped me on the long run.
That's a great answer. Brilliant answer. 11 out of 10 answer.
Like a job interview, I'm trying to sell myself.
You do very well, let me tell you. I can see why they signed you. But when you were growing up, when you look at, I suppose, well, I mean, athletes in general, but maybe in boxing, who was it that inspired you, or who did you look at and go, that's the career that I want?
Yeah, Lennox Lewis is a massive influence on me. I love Lennox Lewis. He's the best heavyweight Britain's ever produced, in my opinion. But there's other ones as well. Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko, I've always looked up to them. They're good role models because they have that sort of that academic side to them as well. I've always resonated with them quite a lot. But obviously the man at the moment, Tyson Fury, the way he came back and the comeback that he established was fantastic, and that was really inspiring as well. So there's a few different influences. It's mainly the heavyweights. I love watching heavyweight boxing. And there's different people. You can say Muhammad Ali's a great one, Mike Tyson. They've all got their own sort of their characters and personalities that you can draw different bits out of to inspire yourself. But at the moment, Lennox Lewis has always been my favourite.
It's a good one. Well, you mentioned there about being academic and boxers that stood out to you from having a kind of academic background. Is that important to you? Because, I mean, we see kind of time and time again, there is still a stereotype that boxers or people who fight are not educated and they don't have an academic background. And it couldn't be further from the truth, right?
No, yeah, but I think it's not true at all, though, is it? If you look at the boxers who articulate themselves well now, Anthony Joshua articulates himself very well. You've got really good people all up and down who are quite articulate and intelligent. But I don't care what people think. I think it's important that you do something because you enjoy it and it makes you feel good. And I feel when you have intelligence and you've got your academics behind you, that's something that I enjoy doing as well. Like I'm a really good fan of history. I'm a really big fan of history. I studied history at university, and it's another hobby that I like to do, and it's another pursuit that I enjoy. So there is that stereotype of the boxer being the sort of the punch drunk, and especially heavyweight, just a big dope. Sometimes I'm a bit of a dope. Sometimes I'm a bit but I think throughout history, Muhammad Ali was intelligent. Lennox Lewis was intelligent. You have to be intelligent to be a boxer because you're going in there for a violent game of chess, and you have to be ready. Yeah,
absolutely. History, that's very interesting.
Yeah. So
why history? What was it about history that you loved?
I've always loved it. As you said, my dad and granddad all into their war films and their history as well. So I went to university. I specialised in the Russian Revolution, and I've done my dissertation on the bombing campaigns in Germany in World War II. So I like modern history, 20th century history. So it's something I've always, from a young age, I've always been around watching on the films and things like that. So when I could go and study it, I really enjoyed that. I'm glad I don't have to write an essay ever again. Or just, I did enjoy it. Yeah, I had a brilliant 3 years at Exeter.
That's brilliant. That's so fascinating.
It was good. It was really good learning about it all. But now, my passion is boxing, my main passion. So now I've got that sort of backup and that secured that I've got a degree now, and I can go into avenues after boxing when I retire. Now it's the time for me to focus and dedicate my whole life to boxing.
You could be the most fantastic boxing historian that was ever known.
I could do that one day. Maybe earn a bit of money.
Sky Sports are definitely missing a segment for boxing history, right?
Yeah, that's it. We can do a little documentary or something one day. Who knows?
Absolutely. Yeah. So listen, obviously an exciting time for you with the signing and with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
I know, like, literally, you're now going to be cast onto the scene, and there's going to be the tweets and the social media and the whole lot. So how are you prepared for that?
Social media.
The opinions, what I'm getting at.
I welcome all opinions and all criticism because I'm still learning. I know I've got to get more experience, but I know I've got the tools to get there. So if people give me criticism, that's fine. People are entitled to have their opinions. But I'm putting myself on the public platform. People are welcome to have their opinions. It doesn't affect me. All it does is going to make me stronger, and all it's going to do is help me and think, oh yeah, that man's right. Actually, I did also. I've had it for the last couple of years in terms of people will comment and say things, but you take it all on board. My dad's influenced me on this as well. So you take it all on board, and you make friends. You don't make enemies on social media because that's a bad thing to do. But I've got no qualms with people having an opinion on me because that's only going to make me better and a stronger fighter at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So let's talk boxing. Did you watch the fights at the weekend?
Yeah, I did. Shocking result with Dillian White.
I'm still shook. I
thought he was boxing superbly. Everyone said it. Maybe he should have gone for the kill a little bit more after he knocked him down twice, and he had that sort of minute 25 left in the round. Maybe then he should have taken his chance. But he was boxing perfectly, and it just shows the excitement you can have in the heavyweight division. One punch is all it takes, as they say. Absolutely.
And that one punch, I mean, like, the internet is divided today. You know, It was a lucky punch. It was well thought out. Where are you sitting on it? I'm of there's no such thing as a lucky punch, I don't feel.
There's no such thing as a lucky punch. Because Alexander Povetkin, firstly, to hang in there after all them horrific body shots he was taking, for him to still be there, that's not luck. That's training hard in the gym. That's pure grit and determination. And when you put yourself in a situation, there's always an element of luck in what you do. But that's down to him sticking in there after taking a beating from Dillian Whyte for the first few rounds, and he's had the strength and determination to deliver that punch, and what a shocking punch it was.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's the like you say, the grit to stay in the fight after being dropped twice like that, and to come back like that. You know, people who don't fight don't know mentally what that takes, right?
A lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage. But when I was watching Povetkin as he went back to the corners, and it seemed to me he was taking. He said after the fight as well, he was going down. He thought he was taking a few heavy shots, and he tactically went down a couple of times, and then 2 times. So maybe there was a sort of bit of a plan, and he was very clever and used his strategy well to sort of hang in there for that first 4 or 5 rounds, and then come back and have the ability to knock him out. But I'm a big fan of Dillian Whyte. I think he's a great player, and he's a genuine man as well. And to see that happen, it's not nice, but I'm sure he'll be back and he'll be strong because he's a warrior.
It's not nice, and I think, you know, we definitely have to remember that there's a human at the end of it. You know what I mean? Where I find it very difficult. It's the one part of the job that I don't like, that you have to remember that, you know, he's at home now, you know, and he has to just think about everything that's happened that weekend.
What's going to happen next? And it's going to take. He's a strong man, so he'll have the motivation to come back from it. But it takes a lot of willpower, and not a lot of people have that willpower to come back from something like that. But I'm sure he'll be back.
So obviously your division, the heavyweight division, as we were saying earlier, it's exciting. You know, we saw Dave Allen that was quoted as speaking about you today. We've obviously got Fabio Wardley just won the English title. We've got Babbage that just won at the weekend as well. Daniel Dubois, like there's so much. Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
So for you, if you had your dream of like the next, you know, 2, 3, 4 fights, is there anyone there? Is there anyone you'd like to be in the ring with?
I'm game. I'll fight anyone at any time, at any place. But Sam's telling me that, Johnny, you've got to build your experience up first, and I can see the logic in that, because I've not had the longest career, and I've sparred with a few good guys. I sparred Dave Allen, as you said, a really nice man, tough to fight, and we had a really good couple of spars. But in 2-3 years' time, I want to be looking at title shots. Within the next 2 years, 3 years, I want to be English title, British title. It's just going to take that initial period for me to sort of build that sort of foundation, and I'll be there. But if a fight comes up, if anybody wants it, they can have it. That's what I go by. I want you. If you're in boxing, you want to be there because you want to win a world title, and that is going to be my end goal. I want to be a world champion. If you go into boxing not wanting any more than that, any less than that, that's the way forward.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. Great words. Before I let you go, while we were chatting, everyone was popping in questions into the question box. So I'm going to take a look and see what everyone has asked. Hopefully there's no better questions than I've asked.
No, hopefully not.
Well, James Hawley has just asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years' time, I'd hope to be British champion, looking forward to European and world level challenges. And with the trainer I'm going to have, I think we can get there. It just takes a lot of hard work.
Good stuff.
A lot.
Selena795 has asked, is your brother going to follow you? Is your brother going to be following your career in the boxing world?
Of course he is. My brother William, my youngest brother, the tall one, he's a bit of a...
Is he a celeb?
He's a bit of a local celebrity. He's a bit of a character. Oh. He's a bit of a wild one, a bit of a hotshot. So look out for him. He'll be with me all the way.
What's his name?
His name's William, but he's got to state his name's Wilbertross. So he makes songs and things like that. He's a bit of a crazy one, but
what does he make? Did you say?
Makes songs and raps and things.
Songs.
Like that.
I thought you said bombs. I was like,
no. Definitely not bombs.
I was like, songs is a much better idea.
It's a much better idea for everyone.
Good stuff. Another question here. What are you most proud of not including your career?
Well, not boxing.
Yeah, outside of boxing. What are you most proud of?
I'm quite proud of my achievement of getting a degree from university, because I was coming back second and third year. Every weekend I'd come home and train. So I have to miss out on going to lectures and seminars. I have to catch everything up. And then for me to come back during lockdown, me and my dad, we've got a meat business. So we buy and sell meat and sell it to people's doors, home deliveries. We was doing that during the lockdown, giving it to people and doing deliveries as people couldn't go to shops and things like that. So I'd come back we'd go out delivering till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. Then I would go and train after that, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Then I'd write my dissertation from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. and then go to bed and wake up at 10 a.m. So I'm pretty pleased with getting my dissertation done, because I could have easily just said that, knowing that I was going to turn professional, I could just not do this, but I saw it through and I've done it. So
wow, well done. Well done. That's a brilliant achievement.
Just thank God it's all done now and I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, I love hearing that. There's hope for the future. The youth are all like you, right? Right, let's see if we can get one more. Oh, there's a message here from Valdor, and I think it's he has asked, who has been your hardest spar?
Me and Joe have had some tough spars. We have. They vary a lot as well, though, because some days we might just spar a couple of rounds. Sometimes we might spar 4 or 6 rounds. So it's very dependent. Well, I've sparred him a few more times. We've had a couple of hard spars, and it's been really good to watch. But sparring Dave Allen was really hard as well. The first time I sparred him, because I went down to his gym with Darren Barker in Paddington, underground, all pitch black, and just the highlight on the ring. And I hadn't sparred for about 3-4 months, because that was just when I was just beginning, like second year of university. I'd done 6 rounds on the bounce with Dave, and they were tough rounds, and we had a good old war. He's a tough man, and but he's a genuine man as well, and I respect him a lot.
He is, absolutely. And you know, I always find it very strange, the reaction that he gets on social media, where people are so, I don't want to say mean, but they're so like it is mean, I suppose. It is mean, but a lot of people don't give him credit for him as a boxer, right?
He's a very skilled boxer. You don't get to fight at British and Commonwealth level without being a skilled boxer, and he's got the skills. He just needs to get in a routine now, and he can be a world level fighter. I'm sure of it. So
obviously we've seen in the last 2 weeks, obviously people wanting to see him face Babic after this weekend, and the week before it was Fabio Wardley. Who do you think he would be best suited to?
I think he can dismantle both of them. I think Babic is the easier one. Fabio Wardley is obviously a very skilled fighter. He's got a good setup with Dillian White as his manager. But I think if he takes the Babic fight, I think that's the easier route. But I think he can beat both of them, because he's got a lot of potential and he's still got a lot more to come.
Brilliant. Well, on that note, I will let you go.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
I'll just give a shout out to my sponsor.
Absolutely.
Maitland Kensington recruitment firm. They've sponsored me from day one, so I thank them very much. And if anybody else would like to get on board with some sponsorships, let me know. But MKA Recruit, they're a top firm, and thank you very much for supporting me.
Well, I don't think it'll be too long before more sponsors will jump on board, because you're a fantastic representation for any sponsor.
Thanks very much for having me, Lydia.
No problem at all. Thank you, because I know it was very short notice, so thank you so much for jumping on. And I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what you do. You're a fantastic representation for heavyweight boxing, so I'm really excited to see what you do.
I'll give it my best shot.
Good stuff. We'll talk to you soon. Keep in touch.
See you later. Bye.
See you, Johnny. Bye-bye.